So I'm so excited about the Olympics. I feel like them incorporating slow fashion into their opening ceremony uniforms says a lot about like what their symbolism is, like what they want to value. And like Ralph Lauren has become seen as more like Americana, especially with the obsession with Ralph Lauren Christmas and the Ralph Lauren menswear, and like it's Ralph Lauren everywhere recently. So this just kind of makes sense to represent the United States, unfortunately. Like, do I personally support Ralph Lauren? No. But I do respect how they use, like, the Americana, like, merino wool in the outfits. And, like, it looks very, like, classic with the reds, with the greens, with the white, especially when the Pantone um, color is white this year, which is kind of racist, but kind of fits the theme. But I do love to know like craftsmanship details, like so who made the uniforms, who crafted this, who tailored it, how was the process actually like for Ralph Lauren, for the Olympic team. Like I just want to know the intricacies of it, because it's really important and it does send a message, but it's like a basic message for now. Ethos really broke down the details of the opening ceremony quote unquote uniform. Um, it's just we do need more details, because yeah, you can say they used traditional fibers and tailoring and had like little symbols of like flags, and like they had the Olympic rings on there, but like what does that actually really mean? And if they use like the knit materials, like where do they like specifically get the American merino wool? Like they must have worked with some farmer or some producer of it, which can be like a complex thing, because that's becoming a lost art form. But I think it's super cool again that there was so much like symbolism and beauty through clothing in the opening ceremony, like Italy using the different colored suits to basically create like the flag, and it was from Armani. I mean, Armani is a luxury designer, so it's unaccessible, but I wonder how much money they pay to be in the opening ceremony. This isn't something that any random person would be able to do, you know? Like, and any random designer can't be like, yeah, I want to be in the opening ceremony. Here's a small 10 million bucks. So yeah, it's kind of sad that only like the biggest brands can like be part of like shaping the outfits that basically represent the best athletes in the entire freaking world. But we are just kind of stuck in a loophole, I feel like, most of the time, of like what brands to support and like who to trust with clothing, when like we can all be designers, we can all buy local, we can all make our own stuff. We don't need major brands to like assert Americana vibes. I think the most American thing that we can do is support local, support our artists, our creatives, not just like a random brand that like benefits and making millions from our suffering. Like I don't think Ralph Lauren needs more money, to be totally honest with you. I don't think they need more money from us. But we're gonna move on. I do think that looking at this Forbes article though will give a better idea of the textiles. So again, here's the opening ceremony uniform, and then they go on to explain how the fibers and the raw materials are cotton, wool, viscose, polyester, and uh, more positive for the environment versus like the plastic based ones, which is true. But a lot of times like sports people don't really look at like the sustainability part of the materials. They look at like how well it performs. So I do think an athlete may just want like something that performs better than like the sustainability claims it has behind it. Um, but yeah, this is a little small logo that was on the Olympics Ralph Lauren uniform. It's cute. Very well done. Oh, okay. So it details here like who they worked with. So based in North Central Oregon, the Shiniko Wool Company and its partner ranches have been tending sheep continuously for over 100 years, continuing the legacy of wool and its timeless importance to humankind by working with designers and brands and supply chain partners in the use of American wool in a variety of products and markets. And let's see, performance wear. They're using natural fibers. Interesting. And the majority of the garments were designed for athletic performance, have usually included synthetic fibers for durability, functionality, and elasticity. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, usually they have to have, like, a more polyester-based, like, material to, like, get away the the moisture that accumulates. That's so interesting. Like, we need innovation in the fashion industry to keep away sweat, but like most of it's like plastic based, and that slicks it away, but like is really harmful for the environment. I wonder what the right balance would be. Recycled sources? Is that more durable or less durable than like virgin polyester based performance materials in athletic wear? That's a good question. Who knows? I don't really know much about like plastic and athletic wear, but it must not be fun to have a lot of like fossil fuel made materials in your skin, on your skin. Interesting. Very interesting. And it's amazing how this is like on in Forbes. Like the Forbes article is just so informative. Here, let me read a bit of it. So Nike has actually been involved. They have recently made an announcement into the 2026 FIFA World Cup that they will have new Aero/Fit Tech, which is a sustainable garment production process that creates fabric from 100% textile waste, which is amazing to hear, to be totally honest. And according to the brand's official press release, the Aero Fit performance apparel, which will make its global debut in the football kits Nike federations will wear during the 2026 World Cup. Wait, can I read that again? I read that all wrong. According to the brand's official press release, the Aero/Fit performance apparel, which will make its global debut in the football kits Nike federations will wear during the 2026 FIFA World Cup, will move more air between skin. So then it goes on to explain that Nike exists to make athletes better. Interesting. So the technology will help them just create more innovation. Interesting. What is going on with the internet? Okay. It's glitching. Oh, no. Okay, let me fix my camera a bit. Okay. Am I glitching again? Wait, guys, I do need to do some research on like how to fix my internet because this stuff is like pissing me off. How do I do this? Like, little mind break so I can figure out like how to fix my internet. I have the app. I have one notification. Is it telling me that all my dreams are gonna come true? No. I need to call them. Okay. So it says, good evening, Giselle. I don't want a chat box. I need to like talk to like someone. Okay. Should I call them right now? No, I'm kidding. Where would you call for that? Give me 1 second. It's bothering me because it's been happening for over 2 months now. I have no clue what's going on. They don't have a phone number on there. They just have an AI chat box, which is kind of annoying, to be totally honest with you. Okay, so we're gonna most likely put a pause on the Team USA. I can't show you any videos because I'm gonna get a copyright strike happening, or that has happened. And it showcases sustainable fashion. So this is a video that I want to link to. So let me pull that up. Okay, so there's this. Let's look at the Nairobi Fashion Week.
Mitumba, or secondhand clothing, is very popular in Kenya, and it took center stage at last week's Nairobi Fashion Week. The theme of the event, Decarbonize, was intended to put more focus on slow fashion and conscious production. Kenya's best designers showcased pieces they had upcycled from used materials.
Chic cuts and accessories made from what could have been waste. The catwalk at Nairobi Fashion Week put a spotlight on upcycled clothes, part of a slow fashion movement that's better for the environment.
We are on our 8th edition, celebrating the theme Decarbonize. It comes at a critical time when the global world, or the global system, is livid on matters climate change.
The fashion industry produces 10% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions, like carbon dioxide. And it creates an immense amount of textile waste.
Fashion is one of the biggest polluter, if not the biggest polluter of the planet.
Kenya is Africa's biggest importer of second-hand clothes that are unwanted and passed on mostly from the US, China, and Europe. They land here in thrift markets such as Gikomba, just a few kilometers away from this glamorous show.
So I bought a lot of these fabrics that you saw in the collection, all from the second-hand market, local markets, the Gikomba. So I used those ones and created pieces that can still be, they look like fresh.
But much of the second-hand imports never make it to ramp walks or even into wardrobes.
So we're not against this business because we do realize that there's a big population of traders who actually depend on this for their livelihood. And that's okay. I think what we are calling really and we are pushing really is for the global north to stop dumping.
The founders hope Nairobi Fashion Week will spark more global discussion on the fashion industry and the role that Africa has played and continues to play in putting sustainability at the heart of it.
And from Nairobi, I'm now joined by one of Kenya's leading designers, John Kaveke, who recently showcased his latest collection at Nairobi Fashion Week. John, we're glad you could join us, not least to congratulate you in person on the show and your collection. As we just saw, this year, Nairobi Fashion Week not only featured the latest Kenyan designers, but also aimed to rethink the entire industry, to decarbonize and become more sustainable. Why is that so important?
First, thank you very much for the congratulations. I appreciate that. One thing I know is that this is an ongoing process globally, and I think Kenya is not willing to be behind in this process because we still consider fashion as something very important in our DNA as well. And I think what we experienced in Nairobi Fashion Week in terms of trying to address this issue, and us being as creatives, it's been a process, especially for me myself, to really understand and be part of a process that is an ongoing on a global conversation.
The fashion industry certainly plays its part in contaminating the environment. Talk to me about that a little bit.
Yes, it is. It is said that fashion has its own contribution in the carbon And I guess it's the processes that fabrics are produced, how they're produced. So the whole manufacturing is part of it, and also the idea of how people have high fashion is definitely something that is people have a big appetite for in terms of quickly changing clothes from you wear it for one season and out. So fashion has been one of the major contributors into this, and it's important that we address it not only as an issue, but also as something that even as us creatives that we can also be part of the process of trying to reduce it.
John, talk to us about upcycling. What is it exactly? And walk us through the process of one of the most recent or maybe favorite products you upcycled.
Okay, great. Upcycling for me is basically reusing if it's a fabric or a garment that um, was once worn, and then you hand it over to another. And I think something very interesting about upscaling or upcycling, sorry, is the idea that you're being conscious without necessarily going too deep into your pockets. And for me, when I showcased my collection, which was almost about 80% of it was using fabric that is from the secondhand market, and giving it a new life. What I did in this collection is I went and got the actual fabrics. In most cases, these fabrics are small portions. They could range from a meter to about 3 meters. And if you're constructing a garment, if your garment requires like 5 meters and you only have a meter, it means that you have to get other fabrics to compensate the difference and create an outfit. So in this kind of situation, I bought fabrics that were from the secondhand market and paired them up with another piece and created a piece. And the difference in this is that as a designer, we normally we sketch the design and then make the outfit. But in this case, you are doing it almost in reverse. You have to get the fabrics, and then the fabrics almost dictate the kind of style that you're going to make. So it influences the construction as well.
As you well know, environmental groups argue that the global north must stop essentially dumping low-quality garments in Africa. As a designer working with upcycled material, what role do you think creatives like you can play in pushing for fairer, more responsible fashion systems?
That's quite a very interesting question, because that has been a topic not only in our fashion scenes as to how do we address the issue of secondhand clothing. If I was one saying we should get rid of the secondhand market or secondhand clothing, yet there is a large portion of people that actually survive on that kind of market. So it is a very debatable issue. Even for us, it's a very sensitive issue because we are also in competition with secondhand goods, because I mean the clothes are quite affordable, easy access as compared, because labor is expensive in Africa. So it is a very sensitive matter as to how we can address this issue. Before, we used to get stuff from the UK or the US, but now even our secondhand market has, the Asian market, the Asian style has found its way in our spaces. So it's, other than it adjusting or growing smaller, I think it's getting bigger. As long as there's demand, that will always be an issue.
Hmm. That's a Kenyan designer, John Kaveke. Thank you, John.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
He made so many good points, and I am so in love with the Nairobi Fashion Week. I think it's such an example of what to pay attention to and what to support going forward in sustainable fashion, in the fashion industry. If you're a lover of sustainability, do pay attention to Nairobi Fashion Week. It is such an important topic, and there's so much textile waste, and we can do so much with it. We can re-envision it, we can upcycle it, we can just literally make so many different beautiful things from it. And I think it's such a loss that we just get rid of it and not think about how to recycle or just upcycle. It's just, there's so much things that we can always end up doing with secondhand clothes. And there's just so much of it, which is so unfortunate. But this is just a beautiful little tale of how we can make a difference in the midst of something that just feels like so big and so impossible to fix. So yes, definitely take a look at the designers, look at what they've done. There is another video that I found, so let's watch this one. They also, I believe it's the same one. They call it the Decarbonized Fashion Week. So let's take a look at this, and then we'll go from there. There's a commercial.
Designers and organizers use the runway to push for decarbonization, spotlighting fashion's climate footprint and Africa's role in sustainable alternatives, while calling out the environmental cost.
Let me push it over to 1080. There you go.
Hand clothing imports. Here's a report.
Hello? Hello, sorry. Whoa! Okay, I think we're back. Sorry the internet has been so glitchy. We're gonna get it fixed and improved. Don't worry. It's just technical difficulties today. But let's get started with the video.
The catwalk at Nairobi Fashion Week shimmered with upcycled silks and reworked denim on the 31st of January as Kenyan designers embraced a decarbonized theme, urging slower, longer-lasting fashion. Just a few kilometers away, trucks unloaded fresh bales of second-hand clothing at Gikomba, one of East Africa's largest thrift markets, a daily influx that sustains millions of livelihoods even as it fuels a mounting textile waste crisis.
When you talk about decarbonize, a lot of people think about fossil fuels, but fashion is the second emitter of global carbon emissions. So we have to think about it critically and best see how we can address it.
Designer John Kavicki closed his show to applause after unveiling a collection made from 80% upcycled materials, much of it sourced through Nairobi's informal resale economy. The event's decarbonized...
Okay, yeah, it is the Nairobi Fashion Week, the one that we just were watching. It's just they called it the Decarbonized Fashion Week as well. So it's kind of like, what are we... But I was like, well, if it's two fashion weeks that are doing the same thing, like, we're all for it, right? But look at the designs. It's all just so freaking beautiful.
Called on designers to champion slow fashion, conscious production, and intentional creativity.
I think it worked perfectly for me.
Okay, so we already heard from this designer in a lot of different ways in the past YouTube video that we just watched, so it would be repetitive to watch it again. But if you're not tapped into Nairobi Fashion Week or what's happening in Kenya, feel free to look into that if you have time. But I'm so excited for all the positive things that are happening. Like, this is very, like, news heavy and, like, very, like, highlighting what's going on in different places. But this is something that we can all do. Like, just because the University of Dayton is, like, hosting a clothing swap doesn't mean that you can't do it. Like, these are student leaders that are taking up action to reimagine what fashion is. And I was actually working on a blog post on the past student activism that happened in the 90s and early 2000s to make college campuses move over to, like, sweatshop free merch and campus apparel. And there's so much labor rights that went into it. There's so many policies that went into it, and it was all, like, college kids that, like, just wanted their stuff to not be made by sweatshops. So if you didn't realize that there is like sweatshop labor and college stuff, like that's definitely something that you can look into, and I'll be making a blog post on it. My blog is linked in my description if you ever want to like read that, and it's also in my about me. But yeah, like a lot more people are like showing up, they're doing stuff, like they don't really see this as a career. Like the student that made the clothing swap at the University of Delaware is literally a dentistry student. They're just in a circularity team. They're just trying to do something, reducing waste, helping students think about what it means to consume responsibly, trying to move away from the fast fashion culture, trying to be a bit more proactive and preventing clothing from ending up in the landfill, making sure that they can pass on skills, and giving clothing a second life as well. And they also allowed students to donate their clothes and refresh their wardrobes all at the same time. I think it's just really hard to find a place that's willing to give you something for free, build community, and like not expect anything in return for you. So I think clothing swaps are so fun. I want to host one soon. It's just I don't really know where I would be able to host it in my city. Like, should I do it on my lawn? I don't want people to know my address. Should I do it at a college? I'm not a student. Should I do it at a cafe? I don't know. That's what I'm struggling with, but I would love to do a clothing swap, to be totally honest with you. And it's just easier on college campuses because they already have that ingrained community. They already have like a club where they're like working together to do like environmental things. They have like a time to like do it. They may be like, oh, I want to do this before the end of the semester, so that's kind of like their one goal. Since they know they're going to be in school for like a semester, like the time crunch of it like just becomes a bit more real versus like someone like me who's in the 9 to 5, and my life personally feels like very free flowing, like just like it never like really has a stop or end button like school does. So yes, I definitely do need to like find a place though. I think that's like the biggest thing though. And then that time crunch. And I would want to do them for free, but a lot of people that host clothing swaps, they either do them for a certain amount of money, like you have to pay like $5, or you have to donate a certain amount of clothing to participate, or they ask for something in exchange. So I'll think about it. But the University of Dayton, like of all places, who knew? Student leaders coming together to save clothing. Oh, and then I saw how there's going to be a museum of fashion upcycling. Oh my god, the words are so small though, I can't see that. What does it say? Okay, so there's a challenge in a museum where they're going to encourage young creatives from 17 to 25 to transform discarded garments dust into landfills into bold designs to redefine what it means to be stylish and sustainable as part of Eco Couture, a competition forming part of the museum's forthcoming Fashion by Nature program. Very interesting. So they'll use discarded and unwanted clothing to make new garments. Oh wow. And there's going to be a panel of fashion industry professionals and the museum staff that will judge, and then whoever wins will get 250 euros for first place, 150 euros for second place, and 100 euros for third place. And the deadline is March 20th. That's so much fun. Where is this museum at? See, this is just like all creative ways where people are like making a difference. Like it's like not about superficiality. It's not about like who's the prettiest or like here's my random design, you know? It like actually means something. Where is Nuri Museum at? Probably should Google that off screen. So you never know what comes up on Google, to be honest. It's 5 minutes away from your house. Let me see. The site doesn't support a secure connection? What? That doesn't look like the United States. I'm looking at it from a different monitor. Okay. What? Where's your address at? Where is it? Where are you? Nuri / Morn and Town District. Huh? What is that? That must be Europe. Ireland. Northern Ireland. It's in Ireland! Okay. It's in Ireland. Alright. So I just have a couple more things to share. Oh, okay, so like, this is another example of another college doing a fashion swap. A clothing swap. It's so much fun. Look at how happy they are. They got free shit. and they like hung out. Like, oh, it's just amazing. And I feel like a lot of times, again, we focus on like the bad things that are happening all the time. And then there's like people doing all these like cutesy, wholesome stuff. And I'm like, why can't I just be there with them? Let me just go over to that one random college and participate in their clothing swap. Oh, they're so cute. I need a clothing swap ASAP. I most likely will do one. I ache for a clothing swap. I ache for one. It's a craving. They're in the UK. West Sussex. I almost said something else. That's right there. That's the word right there. That's the word. Every time I turn around, like a new sustainable alternative a new sustainable alternative or product emerges from a major brand, and it's just more products. So Coach actually has made this like upcycle thing, a circular fashion repurposed capsule collection. That's what they're calling it. So we don't really need this, but for you to know they have a new capsule collection, if you like feel like buying yourself into sustainable fashion, it's ready to wear garments and handbags, and they are all made from repurposed denim, sourcing from vintage and secondhand stores to create ultra chic clothes that are made to be worn, loved, restyled time and time again. So it's better than like buying new, I guess, but if you don't need it, then like what's the point, you know? It's available online. Let's see what it looks like. Just to look at it. I'm not promoting it. I just... Oh my god, the page cannot be found. See? Game over. We didn't need to know about this. It's like, I think it's called Coach Fetis. What does Coach Fetis even mean? Coach Fetis. It sounds like you're calling your coach that's like French. Coach Fetis, please help me. That was not funny. I'm sorry. Was that French? Is it actually really French? No. What? Huh? I'm confused. Is it just called the Repurpose Center? The Repurpose Capsule Collection? My brain is self-combusting. What is this? What am I looking at? I'm getting tired of investigating. I think the word fetis is French. Huh? I went to public school. I went to public school, okay. I'm gonna copy and paste this to see what shows up. But it may be sold out, or was this like just a one-timer and then they deleted it from the existence of the freaking internet so they can torture me? Is that what's going on? Are they torturing me, the researcher? No, I'm kidding. They don't give a freak about me. Okay, so this is V Magazine. They also covered this collection. Let's see. I like the looks. I mean, like, there's nothing bad about it. I love this. I love denim upcycling, so, like, I'd be totally for this, to be honest. But I wouldn't want to spend too much money on it, to be honest. I don't see anything on their website. I can probably like type in the repurposed capsule collection, but it didn't even have like a special name. Did you guys notice that? They didn't even like call it anything. They're just a repurposed collection. Just a repurposed collection. I can still look it up on their site to see if anything. Where the freak? Okay, it's over here. Search over here and then copy and paste. We'll see. Let's see it. Oh, there it is. Okay. $650? What? Repurposed denim patch? I can make this at home. I can make this. Dare me to make it and I'll make it. Oh my god, but it's so cute though. Would I spend $500 on this though? Nah. You must be crazy if you think we're going to be spending that much money on that. Oh my goodness. It fits a camera, a small Coach wallet, a scrunchy thingy, AirPods, a phone, and a cherry lanyard thingy. Oh. I don't... $500 though? No. No, 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 no. I like the footage though. That's pretty cool. What about these? These are just random. Okay, these are the normal tabby shoulder bags. This one is a cotton denim regenerative. I don't know what that means. What are they trying to do with regenerative? I can't read those small words. What does that say? Ugh, I can't read that. So this one's the only one with the repurposed denim. Okay. And it's more expensive. It's $100 more to do the repurposed denim one. Again, cool look, but like, bro, who the fuck has that type of money? Let's go back. I like how it shows us all the options again to like go back. Come on. This one is around $700. What the helly? Repurposed jeans, about $600. Oh my god. No. That's more than what I have in my bank account. And then the skirt is $350. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it's so expensive. Repurposed denim jacket, $700. Repurposed cotton trench coat, $800. I'm rounding up, by the way. I think you noticed. Repurposed cotton patchwork Oxford shirt, about $400. And then the pants, again, $595. No. I can do this. I can make this at home. I get one pair of jeans, I cut it up, and then I sew it on another pair of jeans. And it's a done deal. It's a done deal. Right? That's what they did? Like, how is this $600? I wonder where they get the denim from, too. That's the question. That's the question. And it was designed with a classic tailored silhouette. Wow, Coach. This is surprising because you don't really think about denim when you think about Coach. You just kind of think about the bags. So I feel like these are the main products. It's just this would be a very unique look. It is giving like Y2K, like cowboy western-ish vibes, to be totally honest. But I love this one. I want to make a denim bag. It's inspiring me. But I would try to make it at home. Make a denim bag at home before spending $600. But this is a super niche target. Imagine liking Coach. Imagine liking like the tabby shoulder bag. Imagine liking denim. And then imagine liking repurposed like sustainable options. Like you have to fit so much like niche demographic interest to like even end up on this very hidden webpage that I literally had to like hound down. It took us a while to get here. So yeah, Coach, what are you up to? Like, whose idea was this? Why would they do this? You don't need to do this. The thing is, like, yeah, good for alternatives, but like, why do you need to do this? And there's like no information about like how they actually approached it, or like what the tailors were doing, or like what the garment workers were doing. You know, like, how was this product actually made? So if I know the details, most likely I'll support a bit better the initiative, but right now it's just a product. And it has the smallest words underneath the product. I'm like, I can't even see it, buddy. I can't even see it. But most likely if you're a Coach consumer, maybe you're not really thinking about like the labor, like the labor part of it. You're just kind of thinking about like the environmental part. But we always have to think about environmental impact and then labor impact, because everything that we own was always made by someone. It was always touched by someone. So we can't ignore the people, even though we care about the earth. There you go. There you go. And the last thing that I want to talk about is like supposedly how pashmina is having a resurgence. This is basically like a very like luxury-esque fabric, and yeah, India is on top of that stuff. So I wanted to look into it. Pashmina has been a fabric that I've like worked with in the past because I used to work in an alpaca farm, an alpaca fashion brand as well, and it was always coming up. Pashmina this, pashmina that, pashmina this, pashmina that. Wait, did we just see the inside of a Shein factory? Wait, we should look at this. Whoa, let's do a little pivot. Let's go over here.
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
We're gonna do a little pivot. Little pivot. What is this?
The steady drum of the morning commute. While some are grabbing food on their way to work, others, like Li Hongxiang, are searching for a job.
Searching for a job.
From across China, thousands flock here to Guangzhou. And waiting for them, dotted around on street corners, are adverts looking for laborers.
They come here because there are factories everywhere. It's a hub for the garment industry. Coming here makes it a bit easier to find work. First, we ask the recruiter how much money per piece. If we think the price is suitable, then we'll go and work for them.
A quick negotiation and workers can start on the same morning. Guangzhou is one of China's garment-making capitals. The city is home to some 50,000 clothes-related businesses. And on these streets, one name comes up again and again: Shein. Founded in 2012, the online platform is now one of the world's biggest fast fashion retailers. This is the beating heart of its manufacturing base. But among these factories, not one is run by Shein. Instead, the company relies on an informal network of independent workshops to pump out more than 6,000 new clothing items a day. For 2 years, Peter Lin has produced pieces for the e-commerce giant. Today, he's visiting one of his suppliers.
Winter has passed, so now we're working on spring and autumn collections. If you look at these clothes, the texture is very good, and they're very stretchy.
And it's not just clothes that are stretchy. Shein's on-demand business model is also known for its flexibility. Small batches of new clothes are tested regularly, sold online, before real-time market data is fed back to the independent suppliers. Items that sell well are immediately reordered, keeping costs low and production time short.
Small factories with lower labor costs can handle the on-demand model, producing orders of 50 to 100 pieces. This enables Shein to offer a wide range of products.
The business model is part of Shein's success. It's now France's 5th largest fashion retailer. But producers say the approach leaves them vulnerable.
Shein lowers factory production costs by ordering from multiple factories once a product goes viral, creating competition that drives prices down. This forces sellers to accept increasingly lower profit margins.
Thin profit margins mean workers' wages are kept low. Many are paid per piece, sometimes for as little as 6 to 24 cents per item, says a report by China Labour Watch. During busy periods, Xie can take home more than 1,600 euros a month, double the average urban manufacturing wage in China. But earning that much often requires working late into the night.
Life isn't easy these days. I just try to work harder. If I'm being more diligent, I start around 8 or 9 in the morning and work until midnight, sometimes even longer.
Shein requires its supplier factories to cap laborers at 60 hours work a week, with at least one day off. But the brand's decentralized model makes it hard to enforce regulations. Several factory employees told us they regularly exceed the limit, some working more than 75 hours a week, in contravention of Chinese labor law.
And once the manufacturing process is complete, it's packages like this one that are picked up by a fleet of delivery drivers ready to be shipped across the world, from the factory to your doorstep in just a few days.
Shein dresses, hats, trousers, and t-shirts. For as little.
Why did that girl need so much shirts and dresses? That was concerning. That was concerning. Oh my gosh. What are we doing? Elizabeth, what are we doing?
As €4. But NGOs warn that Shein.
Wait, that one's kind of cute though. I like the first one. It's gonna fall apart though. I used to work at a thrift store and we would see these like very cute, pretty items be worn like once and then donated the next day. And I was like, bro, that's so pretty. But it was just like falling apart. Like the sequins were so cheap. It was just not good quality. So it would go on the 50-cent bin. And that was the only way it would sell, because if we tried to price it for like $3, that shit did not sell. And it was in a thrift store that we were trying to sell this in. And it wouldn't even sell for $3. Like, at 50 cents, people were like, yeah, I can probably buy this self-combusting top that looks really cheap.
Cheap clothes also come with an environmental cost.
Brands like Shein often have certain hallmarks. Like, firstly, you can already see the fabric is quite thin and of low quality. It's not made to wear a long time. It's not made to last.
You know what's crazy? I literally, let me zoom it up for you guys to watch me talk about this, because this is important. I could literally tell when something was fast fashion when I worked at a thrift store just based on the feel. There's this like sleek polyester element to Shein that makes it so recognizable that I didn't even need to look at the tag and I was able to know that it was Shein. Yeah. It's that bad. It's that bad. It's that bad. I'm gonna I show back there. Okay.
For the last few years, Nisa Cornish has worked for Redress, a Hong Kong sustainable fashion NGO. In 2025, Shein was listed as one of the industry's biggest polluters. At fault, not just the factories, but also international consumers.
The problem with ultra-fast fashion, environmentally speaking, is that the volume with which it's being sold and the low quality that's being produced is driving an ever-increasing sense of disposability with fashion. Responsibility is shared, though, of course, because while Shein and brands like it are producing and meeting these demands, we as consumers in the West are driving the demand.
In a statement released to France 24, Shein defended its environmental impact, crediting the organization's business model with limiting waste.
Our on-demand production model is at the heart of our strategy to limit waste and optimize resources, resulting in less inventory waste and minimizing resource waste from overproduction.
The company further defended its labor rights record, adding that it requires supplier factories to abide by local regulations.
Suppliers are required to ensure that they adhere to all local laws and regulations governing wages and working hours, including compliance with legal requirements for overtime compensation.
As night falls, darkness descends on the streets of Guangzhou. But in the side streets, the lights of factories burn bright. Workers toiling away until the early hours on clothes to be shipped across the world.
Let me not curse anyone out right now. Someone says, how dare poor people want to afford trendy clothes? Okay. If someone is buying 100 pairs of jeans that they're not going to actually wear, they got too much disposable income, buddy. Someone else says, you can't have high quality, low price, and fast delivery. You can't have you can only have 2 out of the 3. So you can have high quality and fast delivery, high quality and low price. I don't think those two go hand in hand. I feel like the only thing that goes hand in hand is low price and fast delivery, which is essentially Shein. Quality has never been in the picture for them. How dare they make clothes affordable? That shit is not even affordable. I think it's more expensive to buy something that cheap because it doesn't last. Okay, for example, if you buy something from Shein and it's like $10, shipping is like $5, whatever, $15 for a shirt. It comes to your house, you wear it a couple times, and that shit falls apart. You just wasted $15. You could have bought something that lasted you for years, but you wanted to spend your $15 on your affordable thing. Bro, it's actually more expensive in the long run. It's just you're not thinking about it because you're so focused on the short term and because you love freaking capitalism and making excuses for brands like this. It's so affordable. No, it's not affordable, and most likely you didn't even need the shirt in the first place. You could have looked in your closet. I think we got enough clothing in our closet to clothe ourselves. If we're on Shein, we don't need that shit. We got too much free time. That's what we got going on. Someone else says, is it a crime if I don't sell at least 100 to 200% profit margin? Oh god, that's my sense of humor. Is it okay if I don't make 200% profit margin today? Says the Shein executive on every brand decision ever. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They only care about their money. What else are they saying? Someone else says, when Western fast fashion companies rose up, the news is about how competitive the market is becoming and how quick fast fashion are at innovating and producing stuff faster. Now that a fast fashion company in China is rising up, it only is pollution. Lol. The bias and hypocrisy is just so blatant. I mean, I think everyone hyper focuses on Shein because they're the worst player in the fashion industry because they're doing so much clothing production and it's mostly all ending up in the landfill. I think it's unfortunate that it's a Chinese brand because I don't want to hate on China. I actually really love China. It's just, if you remember, they got a lot of people working in factories, and when there's a lot more people doing something, most likely they're going to be creating a lot more stuff, and they become number one. So I don't know if this is a nationalist take or like of China, or and they just don't like how much hate they're getting for what they're doing. But I mean, I agree. We shouldn't be specifically hating on the country. It's just Shein is a product of like the circumstances in China, but Shein needs to be more ethical and sustainable, not like more capitalist. It's just when you got the resources to do something, capitalism emerges, sadly enough, and it just grows and grows and latches on, and it's like a little octopus, and it sucks you, and then you don't even know what's enough, and then you're just eating the entire world, and then you're like, whoa, I destroyed the earth. I wonder what happened. So Shein needs to wake the fuck up, and maybe China needs to do something about it. They need to be like, Shein, our little baby that we have produced from our womb, stop it. Are they? I don't know. Probably not. It creates jobs, after all. What else are they saying? Respect to these hardworking Chinese people. Shame the West elites don't have the same ethics. I mean, yeah, I feel bad for the Chinese workers. They're the ones bearing the cost of all these issues, and they're merely trying to survive. Like, no one wants to work all-nighters or 12, 14, 15-hour days. No one wants that. It's just like when you need a job and you're desperate, it's just the circumstances force you, shape you to do things that you otherwise wouldn't. So yeah, the ethics there is lagging on all different types. Like, not only the governmental level in China, but like for the brand level, like where's their ethics? And like for us consumers, like where's our ethics? It's not simple to say, oh, I don't fuck with Shein next. Like it's such a complex interconnection of like brands, people, government. Like it's just, we're all connected, and I think we forget that, and we excuse our individualism, our greed for so many different reasons. But yeah, it's just like, where is our morality at? It's something that we all have to grapple with. It's all what we have to grapple with. Do I want to be a good person today? Nah. I want to make some money. I think that's what the combos are looking like, but hopefully people start to push them to believe otherwise. Because I do think a lot of like the everyday person wants change to happen. Like when we grow up, we're like, I want world peace. You know, like if you cared about like being a beauty pageant, that was like your number one answer. I want world peace as like your thing that you wish for when they ask you like why you did this and why you want to be a leader, you know? Like I feel like we all start off so pure and good, and then we just get so corrupted. To be a child again. To be a child again, huh? And I think this is a powerful statement right here. At what cost? Yeah, that's a good question. At what cost are we going to continue to do this? Morally, systematically, sustainably? At what cost are we going to continue? Or at what cost is the clothing coming from? Like, oh, if it's $10, maybe I'll just buy it. That shit is... We don't need to spend our $10 on that. I love watching these factories. What? Okay. Alright, buddy. Someone else says fashion is driving unnecessary need. Overproduction too. Yes, James, you said it correctly. I agree with you. I agree. Can you imagine going to work at 9 a.m. and only leaving at 9 p.m.? That shit would be horrendous. It's 6 days out of a week. I would fucking kill myself. I'm sorry. I wouldn't be able to do it. They're literally overworked and underpaid. They're sweatshops. Yeah. Your cheap fast fashion is made from fucking sweatshops. Congratulations, you got a freaking deal. Do you feel happy now? Do you feel happy? Is this enough for you? It's not the individual's fault. It's the brand's fault, but we're just following with the culture and just buying shit we don't need. Ah, poor women, poor men. And they're doing this, like, this is real life. Like, they're there right now. They're there right now, guys. That's the craziest part. Like, can you just close your eyes and imagine them right now sewing? And they've been sewing for 12 hours, bro. For 12 fucking hours they've been doing this. This is not a joke. This is a reality, and that's what pisses me off. You want your cheap... We all want our cheap shit. We either want to sell it or buy it. Like, why, though? When this person is literally suffering, what are we freaking doing? We have lost the plot. So I think the documentary people, the journalists, all the people concerned in doing something to showcase this horrendous situation, because we need more awareness and we need to do something, because we can't continue like this. We can't. And that's why I do these streams, because I think it's important that we wake up a bit and like choose better and like go forward in a more humanitarian way. Yes, to say the least. Let's see. What else should we watch? I think that's pretty much the end of what I wanted to cover for today. I touched on some other stuff in my first part of the live stream. If you didn't see that, you can watch the VODs. It's just a mess of me screaming that the internet doesn't work, though. Now it's working, though. My internet's good now, but the initial hour was just it was a shit show. But yeah, I mean, it's just what it is right now. But I'm gonna go off and enjoy my Tuesday. So if you like the video, please follow. Or if you like the video. Oh my god, am I a fake live streamer? Did I just say if you like the video? If you like the live stream, follow and give it a like and comment or whatever. And I'll see you in the next one. I'll be on live on Thursday. I'll be designing sustainable underwear. See you later, guys. Bye.